And Seattle's top tourist attraction, the Pike Place Markets, is set to get a facelift. State officials are tearing down the Alaskan Way Viaduct, which for decades has screened the famous market from much of the waterfront. Our reporter Elizabeth Bryan took a wander through the famous hillside warren of stalls that retain their quirky character after more than 100 years.
For the fishmongers of Seattle's iconic Pike Place Markets, a typical day starts well before dawn.
I start 1:30 every morning and I'm here till 6:30 at night. It's long days and short nights.
It's not long before the air is filled with fish, literally. Orders are called from the other side of the sales counter, the fishmonger always ready to catch today's catch.
We never thought that throwing fish would get people to travel miles and miles to come visit us to see it.
Duty calls and it's time to do it all over again. For the market's many buskers, time is of the essence. A strict 1-hour rotation policy means competition is fierce for the most sought-after spots.
All the other musicians try to get the spot, you usually make like $50 an hour playing here.
In the bowels of the market, you'll find shops that seem to exist in another time and space, like the old Seattle paperwork stuffed with historical records and Playboy pin-ups. Across the hall, a mysterious mannequin will tell your fortune for 50 cents. A little off the beaten track lies America's oldest comic book store.
If I could open up the vault and show you what we have some amazing stuff in there. All the way back to Spider-Man #1, and we have Superman #1 and Batman #1.
Straddling the line between art and public nuisance, the famous gum wall.
Right, so this guy was just waiting right by the thing and decided, I don't want to be chewing my gum anymore, and just stuck it on the wall. And, people were like, oh, that's a great idea. That's super sanitarian. We'll all do it. And then from then on, it became the gumball, Yeah, people come, they contribute, they give something.
Literally millions and millions of colourful globs adorn these walls. You may be forgiven for being a little bit squeamish as you approach, but it really does capture that quirky essence the market is known for. But there's more to the markets than just fish, food and the plain frivolous. There's a sense of history carefully preserved and at times fought for.
We don't want to be a mall. We don't want to be anything that is real contemporary.
Market developers are now planning a new $65 million waterfront entrance and addition to the market's Western Avenue. The low-rise mixed development will be the market's most significant change in decades, and that's not sitting too well with some of the merchants.
The new entrance to the market, I'm not too sure. It's kind of modern, and I don't know who is in charge of hiring the architect.
Developers insist the renovation will remain true to the market's historical roots. After more than 100 years, it remains a celebrated yet fragile, historic yet evolving Seattle institution. Elizabeth Bryan, Sky News, Seattle.